Hi, welcome to SUSS Open House 2023. SUSS, as a vision, we aim to be a leading university for social good. Our purpose is really to inspire lifelong learning, and we hope to transform society through applied social sciences. Right? We have a long history, and we have always been involved in lifelong education because we started and we continue to provide upgrading opportunity in the form of part-time degrees for students. Under the higher education landscape, we are considered as part of the 6 autonomous universities, right? You will see big brothers like SMU, NUS, NTU alongside us, and together with the polytechnics, we constitute what is called the higher education landscape with direct accountability to MOE. What this means is that while we remain autonomous in many operations, MOE will fund our operations to a certain degree, right? As long as you continue to meet certain KPIs in terms of graduate numbers, and so on and so forth to MOE. This is where our campus is located. We only have one campus currently. We are at Bukit Timah, and the picture that you see here is the picture of a shot taken directly from the bus stop across, right? We are likely to be here till about 2030. What's the SUSS difference? Inclusive education. Because we are the first institute for lifelong learning, we champion inclusivity, right, to bring education to all, especially in the area of part-time education, right? So whether you're fresh school leavers, working adults, or silver learners, we have programs that cater to all 3, right? A lot of our programs and courses are very experiential and it's very applied, because at the end of the day, students who come to SUSS wants to know how do they apply their theories to the work the next day, right? And we encourage our students, right, and our faculty members to actually have a passion for society, and we give back in the form of service to society. SUSS has 3 trusts. As you can tell, we are and we continue to be the champion for lifelong learning, right? We are very much social science focused, as the name suggests, and ultimately, right, we also aim to be very applied in the way we teach and in the way we conduct our classes. It's a very porous learning system in the sense that our students can weave in and out, particularly for the undergraduate programs, right? Full-time students can take classes together with part-time students as well as CET students. In the graduate program, right, part-time students and CET students takes classes together. So we do not distinguish you by your student status, right? Some students move on from CET to subsequently become part-time students. I'm here to also introduce to you the program that we're responsible for, which is called the Graduate Diploma in Community Leadership and Social Development, otherwise known as GDCLSD in short. Now, take a look at this slide here. You will recognize that these are logos of societies that you may be familiar with living in Singapore. The People's Association, Migrant Workers Center, AWARE, Transient Workers Count 2, Pink Dot, Nature Society, and TUC. Right? These are basically civil societies that exist in Singapore, or government organizations that serve to work and support various segments of our society. This course looks at some of these issues that we see here. Yu Yan's book on inequality talks a lot about inequality issues. We talk a lot about digital divide. All right, when COVID happens, there was a very quick progression to online learning, but we had the lower income students that could not make use of this opportunity. Food wastage. We also have this issue about where exactly it has gone wrong when we come to the migrant workers issue. So this is what is happening in the community, right? Some of it goes back to the idea of social development, right? And we'll discuss some of these things in class. So for this particular graduate diploma, you pursue a total of 6 courses, or what we call 30 credit units. Each semester, you take 15 or 3 courses. So each module is 5 credit units, right? You begin in the July semester, right? And you continue on with another 3 courses in the Jan semester. In terms of pathways, the way you look at it is that there are actually 4 different pathways. You can apply as a modular student, meaning you just come in and take a module or 2 that you're particularly interested in. You can come in and take 3 courses and graduate with a graduate certificate. You can choose to top it up with 3 more courses to then complete it and finish off as a graduate diploma. Right? Are there opportunities to take a master's? The answer is yes. It's not covered here, but you can take a Master's of Management, which comprises of a graduate diploma in CLSD of 30 credit units, and you take another 30 credit units, what we call a graduate diploma in management, and you end up having 2 grad dips, and when you meet the necessary CGPA, you can qualify for Masters of Management. So there are 4 different pathways. I will focus solely on the graduate diploma for the purpose of this presentation. This is the course synopsis of the 6 courses, right? The details you can find out more on the website, so I will not go too much into it, but I will give you a quick chance to take a look at some of it. Okay, let's move on. So because this is a graduate diploma, you need to possess an undergraduate degree from a recognized institution, right? And because I expect most of you to have degrees that contain English language, the other criteria here, right, will not apply to you. So how do we typically run classes? It takes place typically between 4 to 5 Saturdays, consecutive weekends, pure Saturdays. Timings about between 9:30 to 5:30, thereabout, right? The official timetables will say 8:30 to 5:30. Sometimes we typically start around 9, right? And in terms of the assessments, it can consist of what we call any of the components that you see under the overall continuous assessment score, which is OCAS, right? And you have a end of semester, what we call a take-home exam, right? So in that sense, it is a weekend, Saturday only full day class. Now, next question is whether is it face or Zoom to Zoom, right? And my response to that is it can be a full face-to-face module, a full Zoom module, or a hybrid. Meaning within that module, you have some classes that are face-to-face, some classes that are Zoom. And I think that's a new way of learning, right? So we also keep up with this new way of learning, right? And also, for the matter, some of our instructors are actually not based in Singapore, right? So Zoom classes allows them to share their expertise with you as well. So if you are interested in the understanding of issues and challenges in the practice of community leadership, right? We aim to do that through this program, right? But do remember that community here refers to not just a community you live in, but it also includes a community at large, which includes your workplace, your neighborhood, right? And really at the macro level, society and country, right? It is particularly useful for those working in the civil, civic, and social service sector, but it's not restricted to just students from these 3 sectors. But students working in these 3 sectors will find that it's particularly useful for them for their professional work life. In terms of course fee, you pay per module fee. So you take 1 module, you only pay for 1. If you take 3 modules, you pay for 3, right? So we do not require you to pay all 6 modules at one go, right? And it's semester basis, which means in the semester, you take 3 modules, you pay for 3, right? If you the semester take 1 module, you just pay for 1, right? My suggestion is go to the website to get the most accurate updated fees. There is a concession if you are 60 years and above, right? And also can use SkillsFuture credit. We are open for application now, right, for a July 2023 intake. This is once a year intake in every July. So application actually already started and it will end on 31st of March 2023. If you're just registering for CET, right, it starts on 1st April and ends on 30th May. And I have various social media channels that you can reach us and follow us at. And now, right, you will see these three particular slides called time, money, and purpose, and you'll be wondering why I asked that question, right? And it boils down to, do I have the time, do I have the money, and what's the purpose of doing it, right? And some food for thoughts in relation to the three questions is, do you need to upgrade at this point of your career? And what do you hope to achieve out of obtaining this credit? Can you commit yourself to the long hours? It's not just the class timings, but also timing that you need to spend away from your obligations of family, work, social, right? Because you have things to prepare, you've got assignments to write, right? Is there an alternative to not doing this graduate diploma? Can the money be spent elsewhere, right? And also, is there something that you see yourself lacking professionally that makes you want to take this credit? So these are questions that you have to ask yourself, right? But it's some food for thoughts to decide if this is the right graduate diploma for you. And also beyond that, how long you want to take to complete this graduate diploma, because you have up to 2 years to complete 6 modules. Modules offering every Jan and every July, right? Whatever is offered in Jan will be offered the next Jan again. What do we hope to see our graduate? Because at the end of the day, this is what you aim to reach out for, right? We aim for our graduate, and it's not just my program graduate, but a graduate outcome of all SUSS students is to be an independent learner, learn by doing, have a lifelong learning mindset, because knowledge keeps changing, the world keeps changing, right? Able to think critically, and you can't operate by yourself in the world we live in today. You have to be a team player. We aim to ensure that our students can problem solve, right? Be technology savvy, because the world we live in today is technology driven, right? Be adaptable. I think COVID has taught us to be very adaptable in the past 2 years, right? And we still have no end in sight of when the COVID is really going to end, right? And finally, we want our students to be socially responsible in line with our mission that I mentioned earlier, right? Giving back to society. If you have further questions, please feel free to email us, right? This is a generic email account, but we will respond to you quite fast, right? Again, thank you for visiting the open house, right? And I look forward to seeing you physically and to answer the questions that you may have. Thank you.